I'd like to have a conversation about Kemi Badenoch's issue around immigration, migrants, Nigerians, and the swipe and exchanges he's been having with Nigerian government. Kemi Badenoch is a British conservative opposition leader of Nigerian extraction, but she identifies as British as we speak. I'm not trying to take sides with any part of the divide. I have listened to Kashim Shettima, the Vice President of Nigeria's swipe on her and her response as well. And I've read a lot of interviews and discussions she had prior to that reply from the Vice President of Nigeria. And I'd like to unpack them this way. I read somewhere when Kemi was into politics initially, he had tried to appeal to the Nigerian community in the UK, soliciting support and talking about how Nigeria had this negative image and how she wanted to clean it up, using the Light Up Nigeria project at the time as the vehicle for propagating and mobilizing other Nigerians within the United Kingdom support. And I've read a series of horrible talks about Nigeria, her experiences in Nigeria, which are also not really verifiable to me. And for me, it's not that she may not have a point or she clearly didn't understand what she could be talking about, but all that is left for her to be able to verify it with testimonies and her witnesses. That aside. But Kemi, who does not want influx of migrants into the United Kingdom, particularly from less developing countries like Nigeria, was a product of what we used to call anchor baby in the United Kingdom. Anchor baby are those kids that are the reason why their parents, who had no legal basis of staying in such countries, could stay to take care of them, because before the abolition of that law by Margaret Thatcher, kids that were born in the United Kingdom, parents are allowed to also stay within such countries. And that was how Kemi became British citizen. Her parents had no legal ties to the United Kingdom, even when they had her. So somebody who benefited from a system is coming in to fight against the same system that made her who she is. At the point, Kemi was pandering towards Nigerians and begging Nigerians to support her. But when she got higher on the ladder of political career, she began to kick the ladder off and disassociating herself from her roots. A clear case of a social climber who battles with identity issues as well as other social complex related matters, if you ask me. Just opposing Kemi with Nigerian politicians today, you will agree with me that both sides of the divide are exhibiting what the typical politicians will do, leveraging and latching on every opportunity to get that mileage. And that's what Kemi is doing. And she's maximizing it. But I fear that this may boomerang. A smart person will know when to apply the brakes. Unfortunately, it looks like she doesn't know that, because trust the British press. When Kemi thinks that the windows of opportunity may open for her to become the Prime Minister or get close to something higher, that's when the British press will begin to tell her some part of her story and history she never knew about. And this is the problem with some Africans and Black people. When they get to the height of their career and profession, they think the world ends there, and they fail to identify with their source. Kemi needs to apply brakes at this point and focus on her job in the United Kingdom. Cussing Nigeria out, not having a clear political ideology, and attacking socialism that she was the product of, someone who benefited from socialism in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom, because it's the socialist system that these countries operate. It's the same person that is against socialism today. And coming back to Shettima and Nigeria, when people condemn and criticize us, it's an opportunity for Nigerian leadership to do an appraisal. I have also heard Shettima's account, and it is funny. We all know that Nigeria's population will be twice as that of the United States of America by 2050. But let's all tell ourselves the truth. Are we truly working towards ensuring that we do not have a crisis by the time we have such populations? Nobody's planning along our population growth. Not the country, not our leadership, not Shettima, not the president of Nigeria. And this is the tragedy of our democracy. When other people criticize African democracy, we want to reply with how large Nigeria is, how one Africa in every five is a Nigerian. And these are not the things we need to be talking about at this point. Kemi may have raised some serious issues, in as much as she is playing certain kind of politics that may eventually affect her. We need to also look at the substance in the issues she has raised and see how we can also change the narratives. I expect Nigerian government to dissect the arguments from Kemi and see where we can get better as a nation. Nigeria needs to move forward. And I'm glad that the Vice President of Nigeria has done his research and to know too well that our population is growing rapidly, but it is not going in commensurate with our development. We have development deficit, the resources, and all we need to do to get there isn't at par with our reality today. And this is an opportunity for us to advocate, to demand that government needs to change strategy and redirect our focus for even growth and development. But we cannot develop at this pace because the kind of democracy we are practicing is a very expensive one. So expensive that Nigeria needs to begin to cut costs, begin to have a redirection to grow her economy and actually catch up with countries like America by 2050. Kemi Badenoch and Kashim Shettima and every one of us are victims of the Nigerian state. If Nigeria was a thriving economy, I believe Kemi Badenoch would have been in Nigeria playing her politics. I believe every one of us would associate with our roots. But it is because the country isn't working that she is latching on the opportunity she has there. And she is behaving like a typical Nigerian politician. She has learned from the best in Nigeria. And that's the kind of politics she's playing. And it's all optics, but it's at the expense of our country. And at Kemi's expense, unfortunately, she does not know, because the British press does not forget. They would use this opportunity to also begin to dig into her past, her history, how she got into the country. And when the time is right, they are definitely going to expose the hypocrisy before her. This is battling with social complex issues, no doubt. Nigerian leadership needs to also stop replying and try to address the issues that affect us largely as a country. I love the fact that such conversations are coming up, but it gives us an opportunity to also begin to ask and further demand that the country's leadership builds a better country. And we as citizens need to also look at the leadership selection process, because every leader emerges from the people, and we are the people. I love to read your comments on this matter, and I say thanks for watching.